Hello, friends. So, we will be talking about the difference between retesting and regression testing today. So, we will understand retesting and regression testing in detail today. So, let's talk about retesting first. What is retesting? Retesting means testing it again. So, if you have tested something and you are asked to test it again, so you can say, I am retesting this. So, what is the purpose of retesting? Retesting focuses on verifying whether a specific defect or bug that was previously fixed has been resolved. For example, you tested one module and then there is some issue in that. So it went to the developer fixed that issue, and then it again came to you. So now you have to retest it to verify if the bug is fixed or not. You had tested that before, now you are retesting it to verify if the bug is fixed or not. So mostly, if you test something and then you find some issues there, then it after the issues are fixed, you have to retest that. What is the scope? It involves testing only the specific functionality or code that was changed or fixed. So, suppose I am testing a login application, and if I enter invalid, uh, if I enter password having more than 10 characters, it is not throwing an error. Suppose as per the requirements, maximum characters allowed in a password are 8. So anything above 8 should throw an error. So if I enter 9 characters, it should throw an error. If I enter 10 characters, it should throw an error. But that piece is not working. If I enter 10 characters, it is working fine. If I enter 11 characters, it is working fine. So I reported a bug saying that more than 8 characters are allowed. They are not throwing an error. So that is being fixed by the developer. Now I have to retest that. If I enter more than 8 characters, is it throwing an error or not? So this is called negative testing. You are testing the fail scenario. You are trying to introduce a failure in the application. So I hope you understood. Retesting is testing the same thing that you tested earlier again in order to ensure that the bug is fixed. So the goal is to confirm that the issue has been corrected and nothing else is broken as a result of the fix. Nothing else in the sense, if I and if I'm so this shouldn't be a part of that. The goal is to confirm that the issue has been corrected. So if you are entering more than 8 characters, that should work now. If that is so, retesting is just testing that part that if you are testing, if you are entering more than 8 characters, it is working or not. You are retesting that scenario. You are retesting that test case. So when it is done, so it is done after the developers have fixed the defect to ensure that the fix works as expected. Okay. So once the developer fixes the defect, then you test it to ensure that the fix is working as expected or not. So let's see the example. If a bug was identified in the login feature and fixed, the bug that I told you more than 8 characters, the testing team will retest only the login functionality. Suppose the login is not working, then you reported a bug that the login is not working. So they will fix that particular feature, login feature. And then you have to retest it to ensure that now the login functionality is working fine. You have to retest it to ensure that the defect is resolved. Retesting means testing it again in order to ensure that the defect is resolved. Now let's come to regression testing. So now if I talk about the previous example, you will test if more than 8 characters are allowed. That was your retesting because you tested that scenario earlier, and now you are retesting that scenario to ensure that the bug that was happening earlier is fixed or not. But you will also test if though it was working correctly earlier, if I enter less than character, it was being accepted. But you will test that also, that if I am entering less than 8 characters, is it working correctly? If I am not entering any character, if the field is empty, is that working? Is the username field is working correctly or not? The login functionality is working correctly or not? The page UI is looking correct or not? And various other scenarios. So actually all the scenarios that you had created for the login page needs to be tested again after the bug is fixed, because while fixing that bug, developer might have introduced another bug. So you have to be sure that the bug is fixed and the bug has not impacted any other functionality. So all those test cases need to be executed. You will check the bug is fixed or not. You will retest that scenario, but you will have to test all other scenarios as well. Or maybe if that login is impacting sign up also, you will test the sign up page as well. So that is called regression testing. So, regression testing aims to check whether new code changes like enhancements or fixes have affected the existing functionality of the application. So, the existing functionalities should not be impacted. Any changes that are introduced as part of bug fixes or any feature addition should not cause the existing functionalities to break. So it is not just retesting, not just testing the that login functionality is working correctly. It is testing the entire page, that the entire page, everything is working correctly or not on the login page, that it has not impacted. It is not just testing that particular password field for more than 8 characters. It is actually testing the username field again as well, and all the other test scenarios of the password field as well. So it is broader than retesting. Retesting might not take that much time as you are testing that particular feature again. But regression testing can be time taking, because you will have to ensure that this change has not impacted any other part of your page. So regression testing also involves retesting. So regression testing involves testing both the changed parts of the software and other related or impacted parts of the application to ensure nothing else is broken due to the new changes. So when you perform regression testing, it is performed after any code change. It is not just bug fixes. If any enhancement are made, then also you test that enhancement and ensure that that enhancement has not impacted any other existing functionality. If you are introducing a new feature on the some page, for example, if you are introducing a forgot your password link on the login page, so you will test if the forgot your password link is working correctly or not, and all the scenarios related to forgot your password. But you will also check if the login page and login functionality is working correctly or not, if this new feature has not impacted any of the existing features. This ensures the overall integrity of the software. Okay. So, example, if a new feature is added to the website, regression testing would involve testing the new feature as well as other areas like login, checkout, etc. to ensure the new feature did not break any other functionality. So, Suppose if any bug is fixed or if any new feature, I hope you understood this example. So if a new feature is added into the website, so you will have to test the other features as well, like login, checkout, to ensure that the new feature did not break any other functionality. So suppose if a new feature is added or a bug is fixed, testing that bug fix or testing that new feature, that will take time, but if you say that you have to test the new feature bug fix as well as all other areas, that it has not impacted any of the other areas, so that could be very time consuming. So that's where automation comes into play. So you can manually test the new feature or the bug fix and then run automation to test the existing functionalities are working correctly or not. That would save your time. I hope you understood the difference between retesting and regression testing. It is an important interview question as well. Um, let's take a look at the summary of differences. So let's talk about the purpose. So purpose of retesting is to verify if the defect is fixed or not. But the purpose of regression testing is to ensure that the new changes or the new code has not negatively impacted any existing functionalities. Existing features are not negatively affected. So hope the purpose is clear. You for retesting is just testing if the bug is fixed or not, and regression testing is to ensure that that bug fix or that new feature has not impacted any of the existing functionalities. Existing functionalities are working as it is. Scope. Scope retesting is limited to the specific issue or bug. But scope of regression testing includes all the areas that are affected by that code change, including the old functionalities. So there are chances that the new code change might have impacted the other areas in that repository, in that particular page. So you have to test that to ensure everything is working correctly. So scope of retesting is not is smaller than the scope of regression testing. Test cases. So basically, if I talk about the automation, retesting is executing the previously failed test cases. So suppose one of your test case failed due to some bug, and then the developer fixed that bug. So you will run that test case again, that is retesting, to ensure that now that test case is passing or not, or that bug is fixed or not. But regression testing is executing a broader set of test cases to check the overall impact. So now all the test cases in that test suite needs to be executed again to verify if any existing functionality is not impacted. Frequency. Now, retesting is done only after a bug fix. You test something, there is an issue, when it is fixed, then you retest it to ensure it is fixed or not. But regression is done regularly during development, especially after any code changes. So after any code changes, any new feature, any new enhancement, and any new bug fix, you perform regression testing to ensure everything is working correctly. Impact. So it checks only for the fixed success. It only checks if the bug is fixed, that is successfully fixed or not. It checks for any side effects, unintended side effects of new code changes. So any new code changes has not introduced any other defect or not. It checks for that. So in short, if I say retesting ensures that a specific issue is resolved, while regression testing ensures that the new changes did not break anything else in the system. So I hope you understood the difference between retesting and regression testing. If you have any doubt related to that, please enter that in the comments. I will make sure to resolve it. If you like this video, then please make sure to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.